Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into a massive, highly detailed, and honestly pretty unconventional cosmology. It all comes from Lifechanyuan and its founder, Guide Shifeng, or as it's known in its origins, Yanzi Shengming Chenyuan Chengyuan Dao Yo Shifeng. The specific text we're unpacking today is called A Door Leading to an Everlasting Happy Life, and wow, it really serves as a wild introduction to this movement. It outlines this vast, intricate belief system touching on literally everything, from the exact architecture of the universe and where humanity actually came from, right down to super specific rules for daily living. So, let's map out exactly what this text claims and how it views the past, present, and future of mankind.
Now, what's really interesting here is how Guy Shifeng instantly sets the stakes right at the very beginning of the text. He frames Lifechanyuan not just as, another philosophy you might pick up. No, he frames it as the ultimate final spiritual course for humanity. By positioning this teaching as the direct successor to Buddha and Jesus Christ, the text establishes a framework where this is it, the definitive concluding chapter for human spiritual development. It's a really bold claim, right? But it perfectly sets the stage for the highly specific worldview we're about to explore together.
Since this belief system is so intricately detailed, we're going to follow a logical path to break it all down. First, the universe of the greatest creator. Second, humanity's cosmic origins. Third, the mechanics of life. Fourth, abandoning traditional society. And finally, entering the new era.
All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, Universe of the Greatest Creator and the Architectural Layout of Reality.
So, starting with the macro view, the text claims the universe is highly structured. In fact, it says there are exactly 20 worlds simultaneously existing in the universe, and they're all linked together by this core that Guy Shifeng calls the 0 point. But actually, it gets even more granular than that. Within this universe, the text maps out 36 distinct spaces. The human world, the one we're living in right now, is just one of those 36 spaces. For followers, the ultimate goal is to navigate through these spaces to reach the top 3, specifically aiming for a paradise within the Elysium world known as the Celestial Islands continent.
The crucial point to understand here is how this cosmology completely distinguishes between everyday gods or goddesses and the greatest creator. According to Zofeng, this creator possesses 8 very specific traits. They are unique, formless, neutral, mysterious, impartial, merciful, supremely powerful, and wise. The text points out that this creator stays stationed at that 0 point we just talked about. Meanwhile, all the other gods, goddesses, and angels, well, they were actually created by the greatest creator just to execute the blueprints of the universe.
Moving right along to Section 2, Humanity's Cosmic Origins, focusing on the 3 channels and intelligent design.
Now, if you're wondering how humans actually got here, Lifechanyuan completely rejects the theory of evolution, explicitly says it's wrong. Instead, the text claims human beings were intelligently designed and arrived on Earth through 3 highly specific channels. Those are Jesus Christ, Jehovah the God, and the dragon. Yes, literal dragons. It's wild, right? Interestingly, the source expressly notes that Adam and Eve are not the ancestors of all mankind, but only of certain specific races.
And this is exactly where the text introduces this truly fascinating blend of theology and sci-fi. Guide Shifeng asserts that the solar system was created exclusively for human beings, meaning there's absolutely no other life on any other planet in our system. But the most striking claim here has to be about the moon. Get this, the text states the moon is actually an artificial, completely empty metal satellite created by angels. It serves as a warehouse, and apparently it features a hidden door on its dark side used for the coming and going of flying instruments, which, according to the text, is the real reason the moon always faces the Earth with the exact same side.
Let's transition into Section 3, the Mechanics of Life, looking at consciousness and the soul.
Having covered our origins, let's look at how Lifechanyuan defines existence itself. They teach that the physical body is nothing more than a temporary carrier. The real you is life, which is capitalized in their texts. It's described as an eternal, non-material structure containing the Holy Spirit. And what's absolutely fascinating about their theology is how they handle the concept of judgment. There is no singular, big, final judgment event after you die. Instead, judgment is this continuous second-by-second automated recording of literally all your actions baked right into your inner non-material structure. Every debt you accumulate creates a sort of gravitational pull. Think of it almost like a cosmic automated ledger or a spiritual credit score. That gravity dictates exactly which of those 20 worlds you'll automatically transfer to next.
To help us figure out our place in this eternal journey, Guide Zufeng categorizes all human beings into 5 distinct groups. And this isn't based on your wealth or your status, but entirely on your driving motivations and how you think. At the base, you have the ignorant, who are driven by pure instinct. Moving up, there's the laity, driven by selfish desire, mortals, driven by emotion, and sages, driven by reason. Of course, the ultimate goal is to reach that top tier, saints and celestials, who do everything strictly according to the way of the greatest creator. The text really emphasizes that consciousness makes reality. So, if you want to live in a celestial world, you literally have to adopt a celestial way of thinking right here, right now.
This brings us to Section 4, abandoning traditional society and the radical lifestyle shift required. The teachings we're looking at explicitly identify 4 traditional institutions as the ultimate problem makers for humanity. We're talking about the traditional family, countries, political parties, and religions. The text views all of these as the root causes of pain and hardship, so Guide Zufeng's radical solution: completely eradicate these institutions. Just wipe the slate clean. In their place, he proposes a dual leadership model for the entire world. You'd have a unified global government handling the daily stuff, work, study, resource allotment, working right alongside Lifechanyuan, which would solely manage all spiritual and soul guidance.
Exploring this radical shift a bit further, we have to look at their views on relationships. Because the traditional nuclear family is seen as a problem maker, Lifechanyuan totally rejects traditional marriage laws. The text actually urges followers to love as many people as possible through their hearts, completely independent of any legal marriage forms. The movement deliberately flips standard human morality on its head, asking its followers to just abandon man's standpoint entirely. In fact, Zufeng explicitly notes that having many lovers, which everyday society views as abnormal, is perfectly normal for celestials.
Finally, let's head into Section 5, entering the new era and preparing for Earth's purification.
The text comes with a pretty intense warning. Earth is scheduled for a thorough cleaning or purification in the near future. To escape this, followers have to secure what the text literally calls a visa. And this visa gets you into the highest heavenly dimension, the Celestial Islands continent. But getting it requires checking off a really strict list. Step 1, you must clear every single debt owed to family, friends, and even the Earth, down to the very last cent. Otherwise, that law of life gravitation we talked about, it's going to pull you right back down. Step 2, you have to physically and mentally leave traditional families, political parties, and countries behind. And Step 3, you must convert your thinking to a celestial consciousness, which means giving up what you have and learning to truly love collective labor.
Ending our explainer today, we come to this direct challenge from point 50 of Zufeng's manifesto. The text reminds the reader that life on Earth is really short. It argues that wealth and power are utterly useless when physical life ends. By presenting such a vastly different cosmological map and demanding a complete, absolute separation from traditional society, Lifechanyuan leaves us with a fundamental question. What is the most important thing we should think and do? We're left to ponder how these radical teachings force us to evaluate the ultimate meaning of our actions, the temporary nature of our physical existence, and the eternal journey of our consciousness.